and gentlemen. Podcasting since 2005. You were listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Pasta. Come on. Yeah.
Welcome to Gamer Tag Radio, episode 511. This is your host, Danny, a.k.a. Godfrey. And yes, we have the whole crew up in here. Let's start off with Patrick. First of all, Patrick, happy birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday.
I appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Yeah.
It was been a
How was your birthday, man?
It was an amazing experience that I will have to talk about later. But I had a wonderful time. Saw something really cool. Can't talk about it yet, but it got me really excited for holiday season because it's going to be an amazing holiday. I cannot wait. So many amazing games are going to come out, but one of the craziest birthdays I've had in a while.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't want to give too much more away than that, but I've never had to do something on my birthday, get on a plane, fly a really long way, come home, drive home, pass out, wake up and be like, damn, that was all in one day. But I got to be as vague as possible on that, but I'll give you all more details next week about my awesome experience that I had. Happened to coincide on my birthday, so it was a wonderful birthday gift to myself.
Awesome. And also we have Pete Rock.
What up? I'm here. Let's do it.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. And also we have Paris here. Paris, what's up?
He's muted.
Ooh, who pulled a Peter?
Woo.
Wow.
Yikes.
Come on, old
Very
man.
fair.
Hit the mute button.
Can't
I thought you
find
connected your mic, Paris.
It's hidden.
Oh, I'm a moron. Okay, yeah. I'm on mute. So, as I just said on mute, I'll say again, I'll give away what Patrick was doing. He actually flew to Bucharest to see Kabuki Warriors 12, The Way of the Yak.
You're going to get me in trouble. Hold up now. That is a state secret. Kabuki is no joke.
But you guys are hyped? Because there's a lot of games coming out, man.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of games coming out from now till December.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty hyped about a game that I just found out that I'm going to get via disc and not code, but allegedly in an email, I was supposed to magically know that.
What you think about that, Paris? Because I was talking with Pete behind the scenes. I find it weird that companies are still sending disc. Might as well just send the code.
Well,
I think it's easier.
You know what though? This actually leads, and I don't know if this is how you want to start the episode.
No. I want to.
All right, let's save it. But the whole disc and digital stuff, I got a lot to say about that.
All right, boom.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Week 3. Let's go.
Yeah. And also we have a lot of emails.
Saga
still,
continues.
people are like debating about this whole disc and digital. So we definitely got to talk about that, man. Definitely. All right, head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it. Listen to our past episodes and make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, everywhere. Just subscribe and share with your friends. Make sure to spread the word about GTR and help us grow. We need more new listeners out there, man. Also, give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. or email us fanmail@gamertagradio.com. So Pat, do you think we should start with this? Or I mean, it's been a couple of weeks we've been talking about almost the same topic.
No, I know we've been talking about it a lot, but like you said, the fact that we keep getting all these emails about it and people tweeting at me all mad about you're crazy. They're not going to get rid of it. They got to have physical discs. They're just going to get rid of it. My thing is this: you can't look at 2015. You have to project into the future. You have to look long term. Long term tells me that optical discs are a way of the past and digital downloads and streaming is a way of the future. I understand in the United States that our bandwidth is not what it should be for being able to download content. And we have data caps and those kind of things. if 10 years from now we still have these issues, then you're correct. We should still have optical disc. I just don't think that's going to be the case. As the infrastructure is being built up around the nation, that's going to change. And like I said, Microsoft has already attempted to make this happen with the launch of the Xbox One. It failed. But next time around, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a lot smarter with their message. And I'm also pretty certain that every publisher right now that makes a video game does not want you to have a used disc. They just don't, because it cuts into their profit margin. So adding all that together, it just, to me, this is just my opinion. I'm just a moron on the microphone that's talking right now. But in my opinion, I just don't see physical media going into the next console generation.
I think your point about the bandwidth speeds, it's my biggest issue. It's why I hate cable companies in America. They're pretty damn corrupt. So they need competition. They need the Google Fibers. They need the Verizon Fios kind of stuff that needs to be in larger, more areas, not just major metropolitan areas. Because I think a lot of people will be held by that. I'm lucky enough that I don't have a bandwidth cap on my cable internet, but I know a lot of people that do. So, as we're talking about, these games just get larger and larger and larger. Yeah, it seems like with no end in sight, this is a problem for people that have bandwidth caps or slow download speeds, because nothing's lamer than getting all excited. The game came out at midnight and then you have to spend all night downloading it. That takes all the fun right out of that. So I still see.
Well, there is a solution for that.
You
though.
preload.
Can't you preload?
Yeah, preload.
Because you do that right now on Steam. You preload the games. See, and I guess that's what I keep going back to. And maybe it's just because I like to play a lot of games on the PC and via Steam, and now via the Galaxy client or whatever for the GOG. You can preload all your games so that when the quote unquote launch date comes out, you just simply have an unlock key and you're done. It just unlocks and you're playing the game. So I don't see why that same philosophy can't come to consoles. Now, I'll also say I understand hard drives need to be a lot bigger moving forward into the next generation. I mean, look, there's a lot of factors moving in here, but just the point I'm just saying, if you put a gun to my head and said, will there be an optical disc in the next Xbox and the PlayStation? I'm leaning towards no. I could be 1,000% wrong, but technology has to move forward. Think of it this way. Look at it this way. Mm-hmm. If Microsoft didn't have the foresight to put a broadband connection in the original Xbox, look how long we would have had to wait. We'd have had to wait until that 360 PlayStation 3 generation to finally have broadband online games, because everything before that was 33K and 56K. At some point, someone has to make things leap forward. They have to take the risk to try and do it. And the best way to do it with optical disc is to not include one, because if you don't have one on the hardware, what are you going to do? As a consumer, either you're going to buy into what they're trying to sell you or you're not. You have no choice. Someone's going to take that risk next generation. And I just personally think all three of them are going to do it. I will be surprised if there isn't at least one, but I think all three are going to do it next generation.
The only holdup I would say, just to say real quick, is possibly the PlayStation 5, if they can develop a high capacity Blu-ray disc or some kind of successor to it that can hold, 100 gigs. Something like that, where you can fit any normal game onto that, just in case, there are people that still want to own physical media, are limited by the internet that they have. Xbox and Nintendo, the argument kind of falls apart. Certainly Nintendo, I think, as we've speculated, should go digital only. And Microsoft, as you said, if they can redirect that message in a positive light, hopefully, I assume Phil Spencer can spin that a better way than Don Matrick did. The next Xbox could work that way. But Sony, I guess, is the only holdup, because the Blu-ray technology, they dominate that right now. And I would be surprised if they're not already developing the successor to that, because, that just seems like they'd make more money off of selling those discs versus putting that technology into making an optical-only PlayStation. And I could be totally wrong, but that's just me on that side of Sony's stance of, because this is their technology, this is their baby, they licensed it out to other people. I could see them developing a high capacity Blu-ray or some kind of successor to the Blu-ray.
It's called 4K.
But the problem with
got a 4K
is,
player.
Just real quick, and I'll shut up about this. I promise. I'm sorry. But the one thing about that is used games. Used games. There's not a publisher out there that wants used games, and that's.
You think you could put a CD key kind of situation where you have go back to that?
Really?
Step backwards?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. You're taking a step backwards by doing that. I just don't see that happening.
That's the pass.
Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, this is just a little fun debate to have because none of this is happening in the immediate future at all. This is something by the time the next consoles come out, which is going to be another 5 or 6 years from now, that we can discuss. But I just look at patterns, and I just like you brought up the point about with the Blu-ray disc and having 100 gigabytes, technology. That technology technically exists already. They could do it today, but the problem is movies are what pushes that medium forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, Amazon, it's all streaming now. No, Blu-rays still exist, DVD still exists, but that's not where they make their money anymore. It's all from streaming. It's all from iTunes and the Amazon store and all those places.
I don't want a 4K disc.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're looking at like a 200 gigabyte disc just to have 4K. It is possible, but then I look at Netflix and I'm watching 4K right now because I'm streaming it, and that's because it doesn't cost as much to do that versus like Pete is saying, develop the technology for a 4K Blu-ray player, develop the technology for the disc to house it. You have to actually put it in retail, sell it in the brick and mortar, do all these things. They're avoiding that now because they can do it all online. And games just make sense to do the same thing. And we already have a template for that when we look at Steam. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I wish the consoles wouldn't emulate Steam. I think that is definitely the way to move forward, and the way to guarantee you don't have people that go buy those couple dollar used games. You put that couple dollars if it's on sale to the developer directly.
So Boston has officially reversed his decision. And
yeah, I mean, you guys got me on the fence now.
From pro disc to pro, to pro digital.
I mean, I'm all pro digital for me, but I can just see that if anybody, Sony would be making some kind of successor to Blu-ray, but that's just pure speculation that I can't back up because I don't sit in those fancy Japanese boardroom meetings as much as I'd like to. It'd be fun to be a fly on the wall in those rooms.
Oh,
but,
and
I wouldn't understand a goddamn word that they say.
I'll just say one last thing on that. Like I built this high-end PC, a few months back, and I'm loving it. I don't have an optical disc in it. There's no need.
Neither do I.
That's the point. Yeah.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Your season-long fantasy football team may be going strong, but you don't have to wait until week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test every week this season at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. With 1 week fantasy, there are no season-long commitments. Got an injured player? No problem. It's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. And get this, DraftKings is crowning a new millionaire every week with this season. That means you could turn your love of football into the payday of a lifetime. Just pick your players, pile up the points, pick up your cash. That's it. Believe me, you've never experienced football like this before. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Folks, we've been saying it all season. DraftKings.com is a fantastic site. You don't have to be locked into a season-long fantasy football league. Every week is a new opportunity to win cash. So hurry to DraftKings.com now. Use promo code GamerTag and play for free with your first deposit in this Sunday's $1 million fantasy football contest, where first place takes home $100,000. Enter GamerTag for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so the next topic is the Halo 5 Guardians hype. Halo is everywhere, guys. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Because there's people that we know, they're not too happy about
David.
this. Ooh. Yes, shout out to David.
Think about it. This is Microsoft's and Xbox's baby. This is their system seller. This is the definitive title when you think Microsoft and Xbox. Halo 5. It's their monster. Of course.
Yes.
And this is Microsoft at the end of the day that we're talking about. This is what Microsoft does. They're the kings of marketing. Absolutely. It's going to be on everything you see. It's going to be, I'm surprised there's not cereal at the store that says, hey, you can eat Master Chief now.
They're everywhere, man. During the Halo, during Walking Dead, they have commercials there, or
UFC,
watching like
any sports you're watching.
UFC.
You're going to see a commercial using Master Chief a lot coming across. Absolutely.
I mean, we received the game already. Like I have it downloaded. I'm waiting for Paris to install his game. We're probably going to be playing that later on tonight. And we're going to be reviewing on the show in the future and stuff. But the thing that people are going to understand, yeah, Halo is everywhere now. The thing is, 2015 has changed a lot, especially when it comes to like live stream and YouTube. That's like the big thing, So of course, companies are going to be either invite them to events or send them copies of the game for them to for the YouTubers or the live streamers to talk about it with their community, because Microsoft want this game to be everywhere. They want people to be excited for this too. And I have a feeling that review wise, I think this game is going to get a lot of positive feedback about it. It's not going to be like the Master Chief Collection, where there were a lot of issues with the online. I hope not. So I haven't even played Halo 5 yet at all. So hopefully I'll play that in the future.
Well, you know what else it says, and I'm sorry, Pete, I know you want to jump in too, but you know what else it says is it's saying that, and I've just been an old fuddy-duddy about Halo 5 completely, and I've yet to play it either. But what this is telling me is they don't have anything to hide. The fact that they want it
going into
they want us to show off specific campaign levels. We're going to have access to the multiplayer before launch. Things of that nature tells me they want us talking about this game, and they want our listeners to know about it, as well as obviously the other media outlets and streamers, with their communities. So it's a good thing. And like jokingly, I brought up David when he was talking about this in our chat is, of course, Microsoft is going to go overboard with the marketing for Halo 5. You want to know why? Because they're in second place. Their competition just lowered the price of their console, and they got to push units. This is their flagship title. This is the franchise. They need to make sure that everybody on this planet knows about Halo. So, of course, it just makes sense.
But at the same time, and part of me kind of sides with what he was saying. And for those, I apologize for the masses out there that don't get privy into our private chats that we have day in and day out. I kind of side with him on the fact that 5-10 years ago, we didn't know what was going to happen when we popped that disc in. Now, by the time that game hits retail and people are playing the game, they've already had the option or the potential to watch that first hour or two unfold before their eyes 24, 48, 72 hours before the actual game is launched. And it kind of ruins some of the surprise.
Yeah, for us.
And in that respect, it kind of kills it for the consumer, because that's one of the things that I love about day one games is whether it's AAA, amazing, greatest game of all time, or it's, Blood Rain, all over again. It's that unknown. It's that walking into that room and not knowing whether you're going to have a great experience or it's going to be the worst video game you've played in the last 6 months. Now you walk into the store and you kind of already have an opinion built up because you've already seen people playing it. And it kind of...
But that's up to you. Yeah. That's up to you if you want to watch it.
And it's a different era, Pete, because I know what he's saying. And I agree with you on a certain level, but, we're old fuddy-duddies. But the youngster, I mean, think about it. The youngsters, there's literally people that have become multimillionaires off of streaming. It is all about watching other people play games now. That is a form of entertainment now. So to the new generation, they don't care if they're getting this stuff spoiled. They want to watch their favorite personality play the game. It's just it's a different thing now. Yeah.
And to them, that is the new demo. They're going to have more enjoyment watching someone that they know. They like their personality, like their play style. It adds that little extra something that maybe they would not get playing a demo by themselves. And a lot of times demos negatively hurt sales because it gives a bad first impression. It's not a final build. And I can see why this is a better alternative because it's optional. If you know you're getting Halo 5, you can stay away from this entirely and just plop it in day one and be completely amazed by, whoa, I didn't expect any of this. Or if you're on the fence, you have a multitude of options. Anything, YouTube, Twitch, us, large sites like IGN and GameSpot. I mean, this is going to be everywhere. You're not going to be able to avoid this. You'd have to just blacklist yourself from the internet, and even then it'd still be on television, and even then it'd still be on websites. But that's just the nature of the beast. They want to make sure that this is a success. I wish them all the best luck in the world. I hope that when the servers, go live for the masses, that it works flawlessly, because, I don't want them to have any incidents again. And if it does, I hope that they're quick on the draw this time and get it fixed and get it done, because, they got all the resources they need. Microsoft has got their back on this. They're not going to let this fail. This is not going to be a sinking ship for them. This is going to be a success. It's just going to be, is this going to be your style of game? Will you still like this if you're an old school Halo fan? Or if you never liked Halo at all, will this be the one that brings you in? I mean, it's unknown at this point, but I think watching people play it is probably the best indication to be like, you know what? That does look fun. I could see myself playing that with my buddies, having a good time. Oh, it's this Warzone. Oh, it's this arena. Okay, I can see myself getting into these experiences. I'm not, locked out because I'm not a competitive gamer. I don't have to play arena. I can have fun driving a Warthog around in Warzone. Yeah, I like that. There's a breadth of different experiences, and it seems like it kind of caters to everybody.
Well, I have a question to you guys, especially Paris, because we were talking about this behind the scenes and stuff, that Xbox on YouTube are teaming up for the launch event of Halo 5. And it's only going to be exclusive for YouTube. And I think that we're going to see more of that in the future with YouTube if they really, really want to push that platform and compete with Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a big thing, man. Paris, I know you were saying, you were telling me about this earlier too. Can you mention like your thoughts about that?
Well, no. Well, my whole thing on it was Google, YouTube versus Amazon, Twitch. If it's a bidding war, Google's going to win every time when it comes to this stuff. And these big AAA gaming premieres, that's going to be the new battleground. Like, remember back in the day, HBO and Showtime used to battle it out to see who could get whatever big movie first on cable?
Yes.
This is the new battleground now for games. So, YouTube got Halo. It's like, Uncharted 4 or something comes out. Who's going to get that first? That's going to be the new thing that we're going to see. Again, with this new generation, people like watching other people playing games. So, I've been saying this for months. Google is not going to mess around. This YouTube gaming thing is only going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And the fact that they got the exclusive rights for the Halo 5 launch is huge for them. It's just going to put YouTube gaming on the map because people are going to go to that channel to actually watch this content when it launches.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is surprised Microsoft hasn't unveiled some kind of video streaming event product for their stuff.
It's too late.
They don't need.
Yeah, the field's too
late.
crowded now.
Yeah.
They couldn't break into it. It's like the handheld market for them. There's just no point in just wasting their time, effort, and money.
But it won't
make sense.
They've got the networking, they've got the infrastructure to do it. They've got the devices between Windows Media or Windows 10 and game sharing and game streaming across to the Xbox One. This is almost, and I'm pretty sure that this is already something they've bantered about in conference rooms and boardrooms. But I'm just so surprised that they haven't made. And maybe this is, maybe them getting Halo 5 and the YouTube thing. Maybe this is them saying, look, we understand that maybe we're not the experts in this space. We're not going to purport to be the experts in this space, but we're going to partner with YouTube and not Twitch.
Well, think of it this way. Like, YouTube's audience is so expansive. It covers pretty much every single age that uses the internet. I mean, it's all encompassing, and there's different niches that you can go and specialize and subscribe to certain people that you like. They want those people, the people that normally would just go bleh at Xbox because negative connotations for the sake of negative connotations, or maybe they had a bad experience. Maybe they just don't like certain aspects about Xbox. They want to draw those people in. And if you can get people like, Felix, PewDiePie playing Halo 5, that's going to convince probably a crap ton of people to be like, well, it looks like he's having fun playing that game. I'd probably have fun playing that game too. So I'm more inclined to try that. I can see where they're coming from. And if they made their own service, yeah, you're going to have your Xbox loyalist that would follow that, but they're already probably going to buy Halo 5 anyways.
I think this is more YouTube than Xbox. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It's just a bigger field. Like, why? The space is too crowded. Why even bother trying to get in when YouTube has that audience? They grow exponentially every month. You'd want to pull from that. What I'm curious to know is how Amazon and Twitch are going to respond, and at what point do they draw the line? How aggressive do they get? Do they try to cut in and make deals far in advance before Microsoft has a chance, like Uncharted 4? I'm glad Paris mentioned that. If I was Amazon and Twitch, I would go after that very aggressively to Naughty Dog, to Sony right now to get in front of that. Because, again, if Google has more money, Amazon, Twitch have to get creative. They have to have good personal relationships with these companies, so they're more inclined to give these games to Twitch exclusively and not just go for YouTube, which has the larger audience.
By the way, let's talk about this, man, because I think one of our friends, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he hit us up privately to Paris and Pete, and we got a link of somebody that posted on the Bungie forums about these microtransactions with Destiny. I know last week we talked about it. We said a lot of good things about it, but now people are bringing up a lot of like negativity about it. So, Pete, I know you read this. Give us more details on about that stuff.
All
like,
right, so the link
with the whole Destiny
the
stuff.
link in question, which depending on what part of the Destiny forums, and welcome back to Destiny Talk Radio.
You thought it was going away. No.
No, it'll never go away. There's people that obviously they data mine the database within the releases, and they find information that may not be privy to the public or to the casual gamer. But they found instances or potential instances of not just cosmetic microtransactions that would have no effect on the game, but potential microtransaction opportunities that would give more buffs to get better weapons or better armor or better level up opportunities. Some people took that and ran with it to the extreme of, oh, see, it's always been in there, and that was always the dream of Bungie and Destiny to get, to just eventually go towards that pay to win model, not the free to play, but those who are wallet warriors and, hey, I raised my hand, guilty as charged. I threw money at Tesseverus and I bought emotes and dances, and yes, my guy's doing the Carlton and the slow clap. Some people saw that as just the entry point, and I can see it as well as the potential is there for Activision and Bungie to open that floodgate of microtransactions that affect the actual game, regardless of whether you're playing, PvE or PvP. And if that's the case, it's going to turn away a lot of players. Whether it's going to turn away enough players to negatively affect sales, it still remains to be seen, because at this day it's still, speculation. We don't know. I know that Deej has already come out on Twitter, and I think Luke Smith as well. They've already come out and kind of done their counter spin to say, no, where there is no plan to do game affecting microtransactions, but it's opened the floodgate. And since that announcement, Halo's already, it started with the whole Tomb Raider thing, and then Destiny, and now Halo 5 is going to have a whole slew of microtransactions. So this almost seems to be the future of gaming. And I'd like to hear, and I know the discussion that me and Paris and sorry. You have to mute that. You know who you are, if Danny muted it correctly. The group of us that had this discussion, we all had varying, degrees of, pro microtransactions, opposition to the concept. I know Paris's side, and I like what he said, and the overriding decision was that if this is true, it's going to be that sad moment where we step away from the game, as a result. And honestly, I hope it doesn't, because I truly enjoy the game. I mean, granted, I was late to the podcast because of the game, but yeah, man, I now that we've seen the good and the bad, like we're all kind of stuck in that purgatory of, wow, is this going to ruin the end game?
Well, the Bungie Weekly update just came out like an hour or so before we started recording. And Dee specifically addressed this and went into detail that, this was information that was data mined. It actually was old stuff that they were going to use for the moldering shards and something else, and had nothing to do with microtransactions or the silver or any of that. So that was just a warning from them that, yeah, you might see some old content in data mining, doesn't mean it's actually going to be in the final game. And they emphatically said again that they have no plans to do microtransactions for in-game content, which is good, because like you said, I love the game too. But if it was true, I would walk away, because that's not what I want to see in my video games. And not to repeat some of the stuff that we've been saying over the last couple of weeks, but this is where AAA gaming is headed. And as long as it doesn't affect the actual game itself, I'm okay with microtransactions for cosmetic items, if that's what they're going to use to fund DLC. If they're going to give me additional content through cosmetic microtransactions, I'm perfectly fine with it. Do it. Why not?
And it's optional. And it's optional.
Exactly,
it's
because it's
have
optional.
to buy it.
Yeah, you don't have to get it.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Socks. That's right. Socks. Anyone that knows me or follows me on social media knows I have a thing for socks. And I have to tell you guys about Mac Weldon. These guys were dope enough to send me a few pairs. And I have to say, they're the most comfortable things in the history of hosiery. Yeah, I just said that, didn't I? Whatever, I'm sticking with it. They're that good. They stay up. They have this little padding on the bottom that literally feels like little pillows for your feet. And not just that, they're mad stylish as well. They also sent me some t-shirts. I mean, who doesn't dig t-shirts, right? But these shirts are special. They have this thing called XT2 silver, which means they've got silver woven into the fabric of the shirt. And because of the silver tech in the shirts, means they're antimicrobial and anti-odor. And with Fallout 4 coming out soon, this means you can literally get lost in the wasteland for days without smelling or needing VADs to get healthy. And if that wasn't enough, if you don't dig what you get, doesn't fit right or whatever, they'll replace it or refund your money, no questions asked, or returns needed. The whole process is a breeze. Just head on over to macweldon.com. That's MacWeldon.com to place your order and get 20% off by using the promo code GTR. That's promo code GTR and save 20% right now over at macweldon.com.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
By the way, Patrick, I know you mentioned about you want to talk about the Friday the 13th game.
Yes.
On the show. Like, tell us, because I know that I got to see a lot of people talking about it on Twitter about it, because it was on Kickstarter. So a lot of people have been putting money down for the game digitally for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And I know Adam Sessler has also been talking about this a lot in different podcasts. He was also on IGN, Spawn on Me, stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about this new Friday the 13th game. How is this going to be different than the previous one? And
that terrible NES game.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad. I know, tough. Very, very tough.
It was very hard.
Too. And yeah, so tell us about this.
Yeah, so this actually caught me by complete surprise, because I'm glad you mentioned Adam Sessler, because I saw he tweeted out about this. I was like, wait, they're making a Friday the 13th game? And then I read it and I was like, oh, I didn't even hear about this. I think it was Slasher Volume 1 summer camp game that this team called Gun Media had been making as kind of a love letter to the slasher genre. Their entire intention was to make a unique asymmetrical multiplayer game where one person plays as Jason and 7 other people are camp counselors trying to survive, run, hide, even try to turn the tables if they can. It sounded fascinating. And then I watched the video. I gotta say, it's using Unreal Engine 4 technology. They got the official license for Friday the 13th from the original director. They got the original composer of the original theme of Friday the 13th on board. They got Kane Hodder, who played Jason, I think, like 4 of the movies back in the 80s and 90s, as the physical motion capture actor for Jason. So it looks like Jason, moves like Jason. Camp Crystal Lake looks beautiful in the Unreal Engine 4 technology. This just sounds like a winner to me. I've always been a fan of asymmetrical multiplayer games because usually they're very hard to pull off because no one wants to be on the weak end of the spectrum. They want to be the strong person. So it's always been tough, and a lot of games have shied away from that just because, it takes too much of a learning curve, I feel. Now, granted, there's no gameplay for this at all. All it's showing is basically in-engine footage of the lighting, the textures, what it would look like, the theme, the music. So it's built as an atmosphere. But all we know at this point, it's a third-person game. So obviously they want to show and make you feel like you are powerful. You are Jason. You are breaking down doors, hiding behind people. And the counselors as well, they're going to match certain archetypes from the old films, like the jock, the nerd, the cool, edgy guy, the girl next door who probably will survive. But, there aren't any rules like in the films. It's all random each time. That's kind of like the fun of it, from what I'm understanding from the way they're pitching the concept, is that every single game that you play is going to be your own unique little Friday the 13th film. So at the end of the game, whether all the counselors are dead, whether if they manage to take down Jason, which as the team says is a monumental achievement, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of thinking, a lot of communication, or it's a lot of luck. And when you do it, it's like, man, I can't believe I just took down Jason. Wow, what a game. At the end, they'll do this cool little montage where we can assemble all the best deaths and clips from the game you played and make like an old school, 1980s film trailer out of it. So they just want to make you feel like you are part of that universe. And certainly if you are a fan of Friday the 13th films, you will feel
horror games.
Horror games in general, like you'll feel right at home in this environment. But I think it's more fun for the people that aren't used to this. Maybe that didn't watch the films growing up, don't have much exposure to me. Of course, they probably know who Jason is, but don't really know any of the reason of why he's scary, because he's kind of been parodied so much popular culture that it's kind of lost the edge, the effect of when you see him, your first instinct is terror. I think they're trying to bring that back, and that's what really gets me excited. So right now, as we said, it's a Kickstarter thing. They think they've raised like $350,000 in one day. They're doing very well. They wanted $700,000. Yeah, they're doing phenomenally well.
I'm thinking about putting up money. Too.
I'm down too as well.
Very quick. I have a quick question to all of you guys, because we're like an older crowd. I know, Possum, you're the youngest, but I know you've seen a lot of Friday the 13th movies.
When I was very young, yeah.
Yes, Paris and Pete. Do you see yourself putting money down for this, or you're just gonna wait and see when it comes out in the future?
I already dropped $40 on it.
Bam.
Wow, you're fast. That was fast. Why you put $40?
It's different. You always see the game from the about to be killed perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
You always see it from in this instance, you see it from the camper. You rarely see that game where you are the enemy coming towards.
Mm-hmm.
And like this game, you never know what's going to happen because it is randomly generated. They could team up and successfully beat you, or you could end up putting them all in body bag in sleeping bags and slamming them against a tree.
Yes,
yeah, that's true.
To me, to this day, is still my favorite Jason killing. That's still my favorite. They zipped them up, slammed them against a tree. Awesome. So if because of that, and obviously I'm a fan of of scary games, as evidence from my love for like Dead Space and Silent Hill and
Alan Wake.
And Danny scare me, my living room with Alan Wake. I as much as people hate them, they love that sense of potentially being scared. And it's Jason Voorhees. I mean, this is one of those seminal, bad guys that everybody always hates but loves to like, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, just for that whole instance, for me to be able to run around Crystal Lake and slash and stab and kill and throw people against trees, hey, I threw $40 at it. I'm in.
All right. What about you, Paris? You're a fan, aren't you?
I'm a fan. I'd probably wait, to be honest with you, because I'm a cheapskate. So make sure it's worth my money investing in. I'll tell you this, though. If this would have been a Nightmare on Elm Street thing and it was Freddy, I'd probably would have threw my wallet at the screen.
You know what? Same here.
I agree.
I think that movie was way scarier.
Well, yeah. Let's be fair. It's psychological horror versus slasher horror. I mean, it's two almost different genres. I know. Nightmare on Elm Street pretty much blends those genres between the two. He's technically a slasher, but technically it's psychological. I think if this game is successful, either this company or someone else be like, hey, if this works, surely Nightmare on Elm Street would work as well. And I think it would, because then you could go the whole right of like, that could be the successor to PT at that point. You could make a first-person psychological horror game where you're living your own nightmares and trying to escape Freddy Krueger. On the opposite of the spectrum, you're Freddy Krueger, you're designing the nightmares, and you're trying to kill these people in their dreams. I mean, I can visualize this in my head, and it sounds amazing.
I just threw my wallet at the microphone. Like,
yeah, right?
Give me that. I want that game. I'll take my money back from this Kickstarter and throw it at that option.
and every time you play is different.
Yeah.
And it's never the same. I love it.
No,
that's a cool
they could do it. And what I love about this is they said if they reach their goal and they had their stretch goals set in place already, they say they also want to do a single player as well. And they want to do homages to the original films, the old school scenes, the certain, like Pete said, the certain iconic kills. And that would be first person. So then you would be looking through the eyes of the hockey mask as Jason, being real personal about up and close. And the counselors are also first person, increasing the horror, the tension, the unknowing of what's behind you. And they've said they also plan to support VR as well. So you combine that with Oculus, and then maybe we get Oculus and Nightmare on Elm Street in the future. This works. I mean, this sounds incredible. I can't think of a better way to pay respects to these great films that have been, bastardized by sequels. That's the nature of the movie industry. This is a way to make them meaningful again, to make people be like, oh man, I didn't know Jason Voorhees was this intimidating. Yeah, that's his whole thing. He can be anywhere at any time, and you never know. And I'm glad Pete brought up that whole concept of, he's trying to say, of teaming up to take down Jason. I like the way they framed the video as like, yeah, you can do that, but if you make one mistake and he comes through like the window you didn't expect and grabs something and pulls you out, that whole plane has gone to S, and you're all fleeing for your lives, and it's like every man for himself. As they said it, like there's a boat, you can try to fix the boat, but there's only 2 seats in that boat. So I guarantee you're going to be working together fixing that boat, and someone's going to be like, hey, look, Jason's over there. And you hop in that boat, and he's going to take off and leave all of you.
We should play together.
I would love to play it. We should.
That would be cool. All right. So before we wrap it up, Patrick, we have a special episode coming out this Wednesday.
Yep.
For episode 512. You can't say what it is just yet.
Say what it
Kabuki
is.
Warriors 12. What?
Quit spoiling it. God.
So very quick, what we're going to expect from this episode, like this special episode from you.
You're going to expect something different for GTR. Going to go the route of starting to get into captured video content of something I can't talk about. But my experience with it was very positive. It's very easy to use. I'm going to edit together a very, I hope my skills are up to par, but I'm going to learn this is a good learning experience of trying to put together a really cool, special video for GTR. So something different from, you're still going to have audio content. I still got a cool interview for our podcast. But I'm going to try something a little different here. And hopefully it's, a turning of the tide. So, we dinosaurs here can kind of adapt to, what all the cool kids are doing these days. But it definitely was a great inspiration for me, and a very positive one where it's like, okay, I see the appeal of this. This is fun now. I want to do more of this. So we're going to have cool, unique coverage. It's going to be a one-man solo show, the Paulson J Show, coming Wednesday.
I love it. I love it. The youngest guy in the show called himself a dinosaur. It's great.
All right. And also, Paris, we're going to be reviewing Halo 5 in the future. That's going to be fun.
Yes. And can I admit something while we're recording right now?
Yes.
While we've been recording, because I do it in my office, I literally connected to my Xbox One via the Xbox app, started installing Halo 5 Guardians, whole thing, right, while we're doing it right now. It's awesome.
That's the future.
Yeah,
technology is amazing.
No disc.
And
no
I have to say, because we're in the preview program, so I have the new dashboard. It's in beta right now. So, little bugs here or there, but so far so good. It looks great streaming. I mean, it's very, very smooth. I'm actually very impressed that I'm sitting here on my Windows 10 PC in my office, and I literally got my Xbox One right here. Whole thing.
By the way, there was a released update. So those of you that were having issues on the preview program, it's been fixed.
Oh, good, because I was having a lot.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, because obviously whatever they did, they fixed it, because this is a lot better than what it was before.
Yeah, and I think that's not the final one. I think there's going to be another one, another update right before it releases to the public in November.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Yeah. Pete, it's better that you have your old dashboard. Be safe.
Which, by the way,
next time what happened?
Which, by the way, I didn't mean to cut you off, but by the way, when is the wireless adapter coming out for Windows 10? Is it the same time as Halo 5? I can't remember. So if anyone listening,
I think it is.
Just email us and let us know. I can't remember.
I think it is in November.
November or the end of October? I thought it came out the same week as Halo 5.
I don't
know. But anyways, the whole point I'm trying to make is I'm tired of stretching this long ass USB cord to my PC so I can use the controller. So hurry up.
Paris, I got an answer for you. October 20th, $24.99.
Oh, nice. So the week before, even better. Good.
Oh, look. So he does spend $25 on a wireless option for the Xbox.
Because it's for the PC. It's so I can use my Xbox One controller with my PC gaming. But you know what I do plan on doing? And I know we're wrapping it up. I am going to play some Halo 5 via the streaming just so I can test that as well. I'll talk about that during the review too.
All right, guys, head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it. Listen to our past episodes. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. We have a couple of things that we're working on behind the scenes, so stay tuned because I'm very, very excited about this stuff, man. And yeah, just give us feedback and continue sending us voicemails and emails. I love it. Love it. We've been getting a lot of emails, man. And a lot of people are loving the 2 episodes every week. They're loving it, man. So I'm having fun with that too. So, and what about you guys? Having fun?
Yeah.
Pete doesn't like it. All right, guys. Until next time. Remember, this Wednesday, special episode 512 is going to be the Poston Show.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all you, Poston. All right.
Oh, I got this.
We out.
Like
Until
it.
next time. Peace.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.